let me give you guys a closer look at this Mosin Nagant. Okay, so one of the cool things about this one is that this is actually a weapon of war. Okay, this was built for combat. This probably went into combat. Is there a date stamped on this? The Russians were pretty good about doing that. Yep, right there, 1942. It's kind of faded, but it says it right there, 1942. So unlike modern AR-15s and AR-10s that basically are built to be sold to the civilian market, this is an actual weapon of war. And a lot of times, a lot of the libs, they forget that almost all guns were developed for war, going way back all the way to the flintlocks and even the matchlocks before that. Okay, so I needed to put out a bullseye out there to see exactly where this thing would impact, so I would know where to hold on that plate at 30 yards. So at 30 yards, right, and at 30 yards, man, I can see the irons. Obviously, I can see the iron sights pretty good. I can see the target really good. I can hold like perfectly underneath it. There's like zero chance for error. And even if I were to pull it, it's not gonna, you know, at 30 yards, it's not gonna make a difference. So at 30 yards, we got a 3-inch group. Okay, a 3-inch group at 30. It's actually just a tad bit, 3¼ inch group. I'm gonna just go with 3 inches at 30 yards, which is abysmal. So that works out to 10 MOA, right? 10 minutes of angle. You know, if I was to shoot this at 100 yards, the group would open up to 10 inches. I'm not doing it with the iron sights because first of all, my eyes aren't that great. So that's why I wanted to do it at 30 yards, because I know I can see the bullseye, I can see the sights, I know I'm going to get the most accurate representation by doing this at 30 yards and then just extrapolating to 100 yards, which would be 10 MOA. So what this also tells us, and it's not the rifle, it's probably the ammunition, because this ammunition is you know, they're probably just dumping the gunpowder in there, and they probably got very wide tolerances. So I doubt it's the rifling or anything to do with the barrel. I'm pretty sure that it's just the ammunition being inconsistent. But this is like typical ammunition that you'll be able to get for a Mosin Nagant. It's a 7.62 by 5.4R. Okay, 7.62 by 5.4R. The R is important. I think I might have hit low. All right, so it hit a little bit lower than but I was aiming like up here. So initially I had a 50-yard zero on this, but then I went out to 200 yards and I really dialed it in. So I guess at 30 yards, instead of it being 1 inch low, because that's what I was expecting, it was about 2 inches low. Initial impressions. Make sure I got you guys in the camera. Initial impressions on the back side. The bulge on the back, which is that one over there. But get you back in the camera. Right there. Initial impressions, the bulge in the back seems bigger with the 308 versus the 7.62 by 5.4R. The bulge in the back looks bigger. Looking straight down at it, the crater with the 308, which is that one, it looks wider. Okay, it looks wider, but the Mosin looks deeper, but that might be just an illusion thing, just because it's a small hole. Let's actually measure it with the calipers. Okay, see me on the camera. Okay, right there. All right, calipers. Let's go make sure that was zeroed. Oh, I think I just moved it a little bit. Right there. Okay, we're zeroed there. Okay, so let's look at the depth. So it's interesting. The crater is actually wider than this, because on this one it wasn't. And I was able to stop on it. This crater is actually a little bit wider. So it looks like it is a 0.0547. So I think that's deeper. Try the other one. Yeah, it's deeper. Well, depends. Again, it's kind of sunflowered out, so it depends on. Like, see if I can kind of find the lowest point on this. Yeah, I'll try to find the lowest point on both of them. So that's the Mosin. 0.05. I guess 39. Let me see if I can find the lowest point. Yeah, I guess that's it. At the lowest point, the depth is about the same. So yeah, every time I measure, it's going to be just slightly off. So this time, this is on the 308, a 0.05. What is that? 14. So I'd say, yeah, it's about the same. Because like I say, it's not, the flower petals aren't smooth. So depending on how I drop it in there, yeah, they're the same. So they're about the same. But on the back side, it's interesting how that worked out. Let's take a look at the, get this up a little bit more. Try to see measure the crater out. The back side. Now, this is a very wide crater. So. Yeah, definitely, no question, it cratered out a little bit more on the backside. I can go back and forth between these two, and I can see a gap. Like there's a very visible gap. I mean, even without the calipers, I can tell that it's cratered out a little bit more. So the 308 cratered out about 0.01, 66. So yeah, let me take this camera off the tripod. You guys can give you guys a couple of more views on it. There you go. This should give you a couple more views. So up here, that's the green tip, 556. There's a 308, and that's the Mosin Nagant 762x54R. I mean, without a question, I mean the crater is bigger. Hold on, let me just measure the size of the crater. Might as well measure all three sides. So that one, what we got there, 0.0750-ish. This one's a little bit smaller. You can see the gap right there. So this one measures 0.69, 0.0686 or something. And let's look at the crater from the green tip. That one is a 0.0651. Actually, the 51. The green tip and the Mosin Nagant, the width of the crater is about the same. The 308 being a little bit wider, which also means that I mean, I can see that it's wider. I can see that it's wider going in, like all the way in. So it definitely moved more material. So it pushed more material. The 308 pushed more material out the back. It moved more material to the side, or where the frick it went. I guess. So the 308 definitely put more energy into this. One of these days, if I get a sunny day, I'm gonna run this through a chronograph, and I think I've done this before. Actually, let me go check my notes on 762x54R. Sure, I pulled the bullets and weighed them at 148 grains. Right, so you can see the velocity for the first one was 2675. The velocity for the second one was 2721. There's probably a lot of variance, you know, because again, because the groups were so wide that we saw, that's an indication that just the velocity can be anywhere from 20, 25, 2500 all the way up to 2700. All right, so you got like a variance here of almost 200 feet per second. So that's going to give you those 10 MOA groups, okay? That wide variance. So this is an ammunition problem. This isn't a gun problem. Right? This is an ammunition problem, and we can see the numbers right here. Absolute proof in these wide variances of 200 feet per second. So 2433 on the high end as far as energy, which basically that's what my AR-10 is getting out of a 16-inch barrel. Okay, so interesting. All right, so let's do a little shooting. We got some ammo here. Let's load up the Mosin Nagant and dump some rounds out there. With my ears, this shit's gonna hurt a little bit, but I don't pull out this Mosin Nagant very often. And the thing with the Mosin Nagant is that when you the primers are corrosive, right? Not the gunpowder, but the primer. So after you shoot this, you got to clean the gun, right? So that these primers don't start eating away at the steel in the bolt. So I'm committed to cleaning the gun now anyway. I do have stripper clips for this, because they had stripper clips that you would put here. I didn't have a whole lot of luck with it. When I tried to use the stripper clip, I just got stuck. All right, let's see how fast I can get these 5 shots off. You guys in position? You see me? You should be able to come over here. Okay, ready? Here we go. So that's interesting. What's interesting here is that when I was shooting this benched, right, to try and get that 10 MOA group, right, that super accurate 10 MOA group, I could feel it beating me up a lot more. Now I'm not feeling it as much, probably because I'm standing and my body is absorbing more of the recoil, versus if you were like sitting and leaning into it. It's basically the gun is more solidly braced up against you. So I'm aiming at a rock over there that I'm trying to break up. Okay, I mean, it's got like, so there's a big rock over there. It's just gigantic in front of the berm over there. And I can't break it with a machine, so I'm hoping after a few thousand rounds it'll start cracking. So let's see, we got any more in here? Like I said, I have not shot this in a while, so. I mean, the rock that I'm aiming is about this big, and I'm hitting it every time. I mean, it's I'm working at 30 yards, but I mean the accuracy is good enough. I mean I can see why the Soviets were satisfied with this. We got here last 4 rounds. The bolt action, not bad. You got to slap. I mean, you got to hit that bolt. I've trained over the years, I have trained people on this gun. And if you try to, especially if you, here, let me put one in there. If you're trying to load a round, right? See, you're gonna get see how it gets stuck. You gotta, you gotta hit it. Like when I was shooting earlier, I wasn't getting stuck like that. If you try to go slow with it, with feeding this, yeah, you're just gonna get jammed up. If you're if you're handling the gun like a man, you're not gonna have a problem. So this is a man's gun, okay? Oh, I just saw a piece of rock come up. So I'm starting to feel, you can see the barrel smoking. And I'm starting to feel some of the heat transfer through the wood, especially on the top side here. Not so much the bottom, but the top side. Starting to feel some of that heat transfer up through the wood. With the 20-inch AR-10, that's a lot easier, a lot less recoil. Much, even though this had more power, this is a 20-inch barrel, so this has like close to 2,600 foot-pounds, 25 to 2,600 foot-pounds.